And thank you all, gentlemen, for coming. Your race will be underway in less than 1 minute's time. Less than 1 minute to start. Inside 30 seconds to start. Inside 30 seconds to start. And they're off, they're off. Our riders are off and racing. It's a good start song.
All right, Alan, we've got about 70 riders out there for our Category 3-4 men. 67 riders out there to be exact, and we've got a great field of riders out there. Looking down my start list, we've got a pretty good showing by a staple here in New England from Green Line Velo out of Boston, Massachusetts. Sunapee's got a nice squad out there. B2C2, my home team's gonna be trying to make some moves. 45 minutes of racing, just getting underway for our Category 3-4 men. And our Roberti pace car is coming around, and we're seeing our men's 3-4 race heating up early on, all strung out. It looks like it's Boston University on the front. We saw them earlier in the Category 4-5 men's race. That's number 248. It's going to be Yumeto Shigahara from Belmont, California. So all strung out as they came over the top of this field. And it's got to be at least 10 seconds from the first rider to the last rider as this field is heading down the backside, downhill.
Hey, great to see Tom Longsjo right over there. Tommy Longsjo. And his wife right there, Tom Longsjo, of course, brother of Arthur Longsjo. Great to see you back at the race for another year, Tom. You and your whole family came up from Florida for the event. Great to see the Longsjo family out here. Tom, we're going to maybe catch a word with you up on the stage a little later on. And great to see the Longsjo family back for the 58th edition of the race. Tom Longsjo, of course, competed in the very first Longsjo Classic back in 1960. Raced with my dad, no less. So great to see him out here today. Hats off to our Longsjo's brother, Tom, for coming up. And we are 5 minutes away from our Masters podium. So if you were in the top 3 for our 40 or 50 plus race, head right over to the podium. We're going to double dip on the podium. Third place overall, Mike Carpenter. Second place, Miles Billings. First place, Mark Light for overall. And then also for the 50s, third place, Doug Crystal. And second place, Kyle Gates. So all those riders, work your way over right to the podium, be having your awards in less than 5 minutes time.
That oh.
NBX 3 years ago, out of nowhere, this girl comes in, that woman comes into the pit, gets on her, changes the pit bike out, right? And she's on her new bike. And she's wailing, you know?
Just getting underway, 5 minutes in. They're going to be out there for 45 minutes this afternoon. No lap cards yet, but we should be seeing a lap count coming up soon.
And once again, we're going to go over to our podium presentation in just a moment's time.
I'm gonna scoot across. There we go. Hey. Hello.
All right, coming through number 221, that's William Hafferty from 545 Velo out of Waverly, Massachusetts right now. He's got some teammates yelling at him to get off the front. Lots of racing left to do. Get off the front, buddy. But we certainly appreciate him being out there on the front, making things a little bit spicy at the front of this bike race.
Watch your step, sir. Drop the music a little bit. Sure, that's fine. I don't want to talk to you about this stuff. So we're gonna double dip. No. No? So Mark gets. Well, Mark gets.
Organizing our podiums for our Masters racers. But in the meantime, we've got the Rick Roberti pace car coming through the start-finish line right now. And our our Category 3, 4 racers are going to be coming up right behind him. And it looks like we got a little bit of action on the front. A break of about 5 trying to get away right now. A few riders in the C-cap in there. Some juniors racers. Great to see them all over the front of this bike race.
I hang out in the shadows and try to keep casually.
Yeah, I know.
Never know when I'm tired.
So leading the charge in our men's 3-4 race right now.
I don't know if I'm tired. I mean, I can.
Number 254, That's going to be Nicholas Villamazar with a C cap.
My brain is
Just 16 years old and leading this bike race right now.
not into good training.
Gold and Miles is going to get the gold. Yeah, that's just about
And we are now going to move over to our podium presentation for our 40 and 50 plus men. Hey, you know what? We're actually going to pause our podium presentation.
All right, well, our podium presentation may be paused, but the racing certainly is not. We've got our Category 3-4 racers coming out. They're going to be seeing 15 laps to go as the Roberti pace car comes charging through the start-finish line. We had a break of 5 starting to form last time we came through with 2 C-Cap riders leading the day. On the front, we had Nicholas Villamazar from the C-Cap, and it looks like that group of 5 is still working together, but there is a hot chase happening led by the blue and orange flames of Sunapee Racing out of New Hampshire. And as they come down the backside of this course, they're heading downhill, and it is all pretty much back together, but strung out for sure. So there is a big effort happening right now to close the final few feet of this break, bringing it back together, and people are going to be pretty smoked after the effort to close that gap. Our field is on Main Street there, heading up back towards the start-finish line. They are going to be seeing 14 laps to go. 14 laps to go for our men's 3-4 racers out there. And we've got a solo flyer taking the lead right now. That is going to be rider 257, Matthew Weissman from Williams College, 21 years old, William Weissman. He is looking to make a little bit of distance between him and the field, trying to go for the solo break. It's a very tough course out there for the solo break to work. He's probably hoping a few people bridge up to join him.
They had a race there back.
Otherwise, with 14 laps to go, it's going to be a long 14 laps for young and Michael Williams. I'm sorry, Matthew Williamson.
You get like
And our Roberti pace car is coming through our category 3-4 men out there. They're going to be seeing 13 laps to go, 13 laps left in the bike race for our category 3-4 men. And looking on the FATV screen, I can see that it is lined out. We've got some folks on the front stringing things out here on the front of the bike race, trying to bring back that solo rider, Matthew Weissman from Williams College. Number 257. Give him some noise, folks. He's out there working in the sun. Give him some cheers.
Well, our biggest race of the day here, 75 riders out in our category 3-4 men's race. Hey, meanwhile, it's getting to be midday. If you're feeling a little peckish, head over to Finicky Fork. Finicky Fork is set up right in the white tent across from the start finish. Finicky Fork's got some great vittles over there, so head over and get yourself some lunch from Finicky Fork Catering.
Our category 3-4 men are out there right now. Coming up next, the start of our elite racing and the true beginning of Cycle Smart New England Crit Week presented by Verge is going to be our elite women coming up at 11:45.
Reminder to take my asthma medication.
So last time coming around, it was number 257, Matthew Weissman. He was out in the heat for a few laps on his own, and now it looks like finally he has got some company, and I'm sure he is pleased about that. Number 228 and 222. 222 is going to be Lucas Huesman from the CCAP, and Torin La Liberté, our friend from the north in New Hampshire.
No, I mean, you're always young when you're only coming in. But we understand.
Now, if I'm going to crash, I won't have to help you.
You know what? I think we are going to go over to podiums.
All right, well, with 12 to go, Alan Cote, we're heading over to the podium. Off to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to our 40-plus podium. In third place, riding for Down East Racing, it's Elliot Pitney. Elliot Pitney to the third step of the podium. Elliot Pitney from Down East Racing.
No, so this year. Oh, 40 bucks. 40 plus. Gotcha.
40 plus, third place. Here we go. And that is Elliot Pitney. And ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to have presenting the medals Mr. Tom Longsjo, brother of Art Longsjo, hanging the medals here today. In second place in our 40-plus race from Scarborough, Maine, it is Mark Carpenter. Mark Carpenter. And the winner of our 40-plus race, second rider across the line from West Newton, Mass. for 545 Velo, it is Miles Billings. Kinnan Billings, his son, filling in for him. Miles he's occupied right now. There we go. Youngest Master 40 podium I've ever seen. That's right, hands up. Wow. We're going to find out what that guy eats. I mean, Miles, he's in great shape, you know? Like, holy smokes. Wish I looked that good at 40, yeah. All right. Fountain of Youth, that's right. In our 50-plus race, in third place for New England Devo from Wellesley, Mass., it's Doug Crystal. Doug Crystal. And once again, Mr. Tom Longsjo hanging the medals. In second place in our 50-plus race from Wheelworks Racing, he's been to this podium I don't know how many times, from Dorchester, Mass., Kyle Gates. Kyle Gates. And the winner of our 50-plus race and the fastest rider overall from Hackettstown, New Jersey. He's the reigning 50-plus National Criterium champion for Team Pro Power Cycle Solutions. It is Mark Light. And Mark getting your award from Tom Longsjo. Gentlemen, arms up. There we go. Podium style, our 50-plus podium. Snuggle up, gentlemen. That's right, snuggle up. Nicely done, gentlemen. We're going to go back to the race action with Lydia Housley.
All right, thanks, Alan. So we've been missing quite a lot while you were over there at the podium. Non-stop attacks out here from the CCAP. These are the young folks, juniors, under 18, that are putting in non-stop attacks on the front of this bike race. They've got a few teammates, and they've been trading, launching attacks off the front of this bike race, making it real hard for the rest of the pack to just sit in. A great strategy for a team that has a few teammates and a big powerhouse in those young riders. Our category 3-4 men have made the turn onto Main Street. They're going to be coming up through the finish line in not too long. We can see the Roberti pace car in sight, looking at 10 laps to go. And it has been CCAP all over the front of this race for the last 5 or so laps. And we're going to see who's coming around this time. 9 to go. And I do not see the yellow and purple of CCAP on the front. Gentlemen, our category 3-4 races, you are seeing 9 laps to go. 9 laps to go right now on the front. 2:47. Jeffrey Scala from Bolton, Connecticut.
Hey, Monica McNamara, if you're in the house, Monica McNamara, if you could head over to the stage at your earliest convenience, we'd appreciate that. Monica McNamara, if you're in the house, head over to the stage. Thank you.
So our young C-Cap racers have been all over the front of this bike race. They came through again on the front for probably the 5th lap in a row, trading poles among the 5 or so teammates they've got in the field. And our pace car is coming through. We are 25 minutes into this bike race, and we've got 8 laps to go. Eight laps to go, and there is more action at the front, Alan. It is cooking up here in Fitchburg.
One rider away, one rider away. Looks like a Connecticut Cycling Advancement Program rider, I believe. Yeah, that is Lucas Hussman. Lucas Hussman, he's a junior, only 16 years old. So, Lydia, let's talk about juniors. They have restricted gears. That means they can only use so big a gear on their bike. In some races, that doesn't really matter. Here at Longsjo, the backstretch is a 35-mile-an-hour affair. Riders their legs are spinning like egg beaters out there as they work their way down the backstretch. So junior riders really having an extra chore to stay away. Of course, we did see 6 years ago. One of the Gogans, oh man, not Tommy, not Kevin. One of the Gogans. I cannot remember which Gogan won the race 6 years ago, my apologies, but he won it as a junior with junior gears soloing away. Tremendous effort, so it can be done, and that was from the elite field. And likewise, Ellen Noble won this race as a junior in the elite women's race. So it certainly can be done, but it's a tall order out there as riders spin their way down the backstretch in those small junior gears.
Absolutely. Well, Lucas seems to be having a good time of it out there. His lead seems to be extending just a little bit. Watching on the FAT, the live feed.
Big thanks to Rollstone Bank and Trust. Rollstone Bank and Trust, rock solid banking since 1846 with branches throughout the Fitchburg and Leominster area. Rollstone Bank and Trust back for their 7th year as a title of the Longsjo Classic. Cannot thank them enough for their community support. Along with Research Results. For 30 years, Research Results has been dedicated to solving their clients' research needs in the most practical and affordable way. John Zarella stepping up as the organizational kingpin of this race as well. So, big thanks to Research Results and Rollstone Bank, along with the city of Fitchburg. Police, fire, DPW, all stepping up to make this race possible for the 58th year. Another little Fitchburg nugget. You can see at about 50 meters to go, the black sign that says Ivor Johnson Bike Shop. Ivor Johnson, once one of the biggest bike manufacturers in the world, located right in Fitchburg, just about a mile to the west of us. And I believe they have a museum showing today with all those great vintage Ivor Johnson bicycles going back to the turn of the century. The famed racer Major Taylor, first African-American world champion in sport, he actually competed on Ivor Johnson bicycles. So there's a great cycling heritage and history here in Fitchburg. And those vintage Ivor Johnsons are something great to see. I don't think they produced bikes after World War II, so we're talking about some old bikes there, right back into the 1890s.
Do you need a break though to the head? Do you have a bathroom down here? Italian.
Our Rick Ruberti pace car is coming through, and it looks like we've got some action cooking up on the front of this bike race. A few groups trying to get away, and we can see the first few just coming into sight. Two riders making a big effort to try to put some distance between them and the field, but there is a strong chase effort underway. On the front, though, right now, we've got rider 200 and 217. That's going to be Chris Alchek and Ben Finch. CRCA Foundation, our friends from the South down in New York City, coming up to do the historic Longsjo Classic.
Yeah, we've got that breakaway group. Looks like it's getting absorbed on the backstretch as yet another move goes when that one is caught. The counter, as we call it in bike racing, the counter. Once a breakaway is caught, other riders try to take advantage of that little distraction in the field and launch a move of their own. But of course, in a race like this, you may have a rider who's just sitting in the field all day long, waiting for the sprint. We saw that with Mark Light in our Masters race. Light doing such a great job out there. We didn't even see him during the race because he was just tucked in the field. And then we talked to him at the podium presentation. He said he's good at a long sprint. Well, if you're good with a long sprint, the Longsjo Classic is the race for you, particularly since we moved the start-finish line up here to the Upper Common. And we do have race programs up here. Anybody would like a race program? There's a supplement to the Fitchburg Sentinel Enterprise paper, so race programs right up here at the stage if you'd like one. Gives you a little history of the race and lots of other good info in that race guide. So head right up here and grab yourself a race program. Big thanks to FATV for broadcasting this race live on the web at fatv.org.
Five laps to go left in the men's 3-4 race here at the 58th edition of the Longsjo Classic. Five laps to go, and we've got three riders just off the front of the field here. Number 221 leading that charge. That's going to be William Hafferty from 545 Velo. He was looking pretty determined, Alan. Thinking he's going to try to make a break of it. Few riders pretty close to him making the bridge.
Hey, we're at the lunch hour right here, right across from the start-finish line. Got some great vittles cooking up over there. So head right over to the, I'm trying to remember, the Tasty Fork? Tell me about it, guys. The Fabulous Fork. Guys, what is it? Oh, man, you're not listening. The Fabulous Fork. There we go. Yeah, got some great stuff there. We've also got the coffee truck right over by the Boulder Cafe. And, of course, the Boulder, the institution in Boulder, here in Fitchburg. And that is always a great place to grab a beer after a race or while you're watching the race.
Four laps to go for our Category 3-4 men as they're coming through. They're going to be seeing 4 laps to go, and we've got an attack launching right in front of your eyes, folks. Give him some noise. Number 230. That is Zachary Levy riding for the Interns, presented by Untapped out of Waterbury, Vermont. Just put in a monster sprint on this finish straight here, uphill. In the sun. He keeps taking a peek over his shoulder, looking to see if anyone's going to join him, but he is all on his own. Getting into an arrow position, trying to get every last advantage he can as he's heading downhill by himself. So we saw a big attack launched by Zachary Levy on that last lap coming through the start-finish, but he has been swallowed up. The pack is all together. They're going to be coming up the start-finish here in just a few moments. And it's 3 laps to go, 3 laps to go. And we got 3 riders off the front trying to make another go of it late in the race here today, our category 3-4 men's race. Only 3 laps left, but these 3 riders still trying to make the break of the day. Coming down to the conclusion of our men's 3-4 race, but coming up next, lots of great racing still left to go. Our elite women's race and the official start of the Cycle Smart New England Crit Week presented by Verge Series at 11:45. We'll be kicking off our elite women. All right, Alan, with 2 laps to go as our field is coming through and it's all together, we are going to be in for a treat, a huge sprint finish with 75 riders out there.
Two laps to go, 2 laps to go for our category 3-4 men, all together, 2 laps to go. Fitchburg, Mass, we are going to see a wild curb-to-curb field sprint. Look at that, the pack is spread across the road. It's across the road, that means the pace is not high. When the pack is strung out in a line, riders are trying to get into the draft of whoever is in front of them. The pace is high. When it's spread out, everyone can advance position. You don't need that draft. And that's when the race becomes very tactical. Right now, we're at 1.5 laps to go. As they head down the backstretch, we look at our coverage on FATV. We need a bell ringer. We got a bell ringer? Who wants to ring the bell? Oh, she's back.
Tanya Bolanova, interested in being our permanent bell ringer for the day.
No camera, Tanya.
All right, we've got Tanya on deck. She's going to be our bell ringer today, and she's a pro bell ringer. She doesn't need any help, but she is going to be ringing it loud, ringing it long as the finish of our Category 3-4 men's race comes into sight.
As they round on to Putnam Street, they're going to make the turn on to Main Street in just a moment. When they come into the start-finish, they'll get the bell for 1 to go. Tanya's on the bell for us. Ladies and gentlemen, they're working their way on to Main Street. They're spread curb to curb. The pack splintering at the back as they're shoulder to shoulder on Main Street. Right by the theater. We're going to see them in just a moment's time. Here they are. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 lap to go for our Category 3-4 men, Fitchburg, Mass. Let's send them off and 1 to go. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go for our Category 3-4 men. Seems to be a little confusion with some of those riders at the front, thinking that it was maybe the finish, I'm not sure. But they're into the final lap of the race.
Got like sat up and just.
They're down the back stretch, down Boulder Drive. Down Boulder Drive, it's strung out. The lead-out trains are going. The lead-out trains are going. Connecticut Cycling Advancement at the front. Team Sunapee in second wheel. Team Sunapee trying to lead out. Right down Boulder Drive. 35 miles an hour down the backstretch. All the coverage brought to us by FATV. Go right to FATV.org. You can tell your friends who aren't in the city right now, they can watch it online. As our Category 3-4 riders, they're curb to curb. They're curb to curb going down Boulder Drive into the final turn. Sunapee at the front, Connecticut Cycling Advancement, waving riders through. We have Green Line Velo with 2 riders at the front. Lydia, they're on to Putnam Street. The final turn into the final turn on to Main Street. Everyone's through cleanly. Is that green?
It is the green and blue colors of Green Line Velo, local New England team, grassroots team, born and raised in New England with lots of results. They are on the front, 2 riders trying to make the lead out happen. It is Green Line Velo.
Right by the library, Green Line Velo leading it out. It is strung out single file. Green Line Velo trying to lead out. We've got Connecticut Cycling Advancement right there. And here it comes. Here it comes into the finish, and it's Green Line Velo. Green Line Velo.
Number 251. That is going to be David Sutherland for Green Line Velo. David Sutherland, 26-year-old out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, your winner for the Category 3-4 men's race here at the 58th edition of the Longsjo Classic.
What a ride for Green Line Velo. You know, coming in right near the back of the pack, I saw number 208, Sean Casey for Green Line Velo. He did everything he possibly could for that lead out, and he was absolutely blown. He could barely coast across the line. He'll be so satisfied to know that his teammate taking the win here for our Category 3-4 men.
Ben Kramer coming through looking thoroughly exhausted. Man, that sprint was really something else. David Sutherland with the longest sprint I've seen yet today. He looked like he was going to fall over as soon as he crossed the finish line. An excellent showing by Green Line Velo.
Are you free? Yes. Can you